Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dear brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, today I chose to talk about, there's one sutta, discourse called Nidikanda Sutta. You can find it in Kuddaka Nikaya, Kuddaka Pada Pali.
Selamat malam saudara-saudari sedama. Malam ini Bante ingin membagikan dhamma dengan judul Nidikanda Sutta. Anda bisa cek di Anguttara Nikaya, Kuddaka Nikaya, Kuddaka Pada. Arti dari Nidikanda Sutta adalah harta yang tersembunyi.
Okay, then it mentioned why the Buddha explained this sutta to explain. It say like one day there was one millionaire. He was very faithful devotee of the Buddha, and then he invited the Buddha and Sangha. Then he offered dana, the lunch dana to Buddha. So then when the time while he was offering food to the Buddha and Sangha, that time the king, he sent someone to this millionaire, because why? The king needs some money, because he was so rich, so he needs some money. Then king sent a messenger and asked him to come to palace. That time, but the millionaire replied to messenger, now I am burying a treasure, so now I cannot come. After finish my work, after finish burying a treasure, then I will come to see the king. So in this way, the millionaire replied to the messenger. After that, considering this topic, the Buddha explained this sutta to everyone.
Sutta ini diberikan Sang Buddha karena ada satu orang kaya yang mengundang Sang Buddha dan Sang Buddha dan Sangha untuk menerima dana makan di rumahnya. Ketika sedang memberikan dana kepada Sang Buddha dan Sangha, ada utusan raja yang dikirimkan raja untuk memanggil orang kaya ini ke istana. Kemudian orang kaya ini mengatakan kepada utusan raja tersebut, saya sedang sibuk menguburkan harta, menyembunyikan harta ya. Setelah saya selesai, saya akan ke istana. Berhubungan dengan kejadian ini, Sang Buddha memberikan sutta ini.
And Buddha explained, Buddha started sutta like this. When you say, he said like some people, a man, he is burying a treasure underneath of the earth, or maybe like he is finding very somewhere it's quite hard for someone to reach, or it can be either underneath of the water. So somewhere a man is burying a treasure, because why? He has a feeling whenever he need that treasure, whenever he need money, that time he can open that treasure and take the valuable thing what he buried, then he can use it for his future.
Sang Buddha menjelaskan bahwa ada sebagian orang yang biasanya menyembunyikan harta mereka di dalam tanah, di dekat air, dan lain sebagainya, dengan tujuan apabila sewaktu-waktu dia membutuhkan harta yang dia sembunyikan ini bisa digunakan untuk membantunya.
So I hope you also understand the concept why the ancient people, they buried the treasures for their future purpose. Then say like So why the people last time they buried the treasure? Sometimes when the king not happy, then he can, the king can do whatever bad thing to you. Like either the king can send you away from the country, or if not, like the king, if you have any position, he can remove your position. Or sometimes the thief can come and take away all your treasures. That time there was no banking system. And also sometimes if the famine period comes, that time also he can use that treasure and spend the money to survive his life, to survive he and his family life. And also sometimes if he has taken a treasure, like take a loan from someone, so that time he also can use that treasure and pay back. In this way, there are many purpose because of many purpose. Last time people they used to bury and then hide the treasures, and then they can use it for their future.
Kenapa dulu orang memiliki kebiasaan untuk menyembunyikan harta mereka? Karena terkadang kalau misalnya raja lagi nggak senang sama seseorang, baik karena orang itu difitnah ataupun raja lagi mut-mutan aja yang nggak suka ya, maka rajanya bisa mengusir orang tersebut atau bisa mencabut jabatannya, mencabut hak-hak yang diberikan dan lain sebagainya. Nah, pada saat itu dia bisa mengeluarkan harta yang disembunyikan ini untuk menenangkan si raja. Kemudian apabila ada maling datang mencuri atau mengganggu, bisa menggunakan harta yang tersembunyi ini untuk mengisi ulang hartanya yang dicuri. Bisa juga untuk menyuap bandit gitu ya, supaya berhenti diganggu, bayar tebusan dan lain sebagainya. Bisa juga kalau ada hutang, untuk ngebayar hutang, karena zaman dulu nggak ada sistem perbankan, jadi harta yang kelebihan itu disembunyikan dulu. Ketika ada hutang, ada keperluan baru diambil. Kemudian bisa juga ketika bencana kelaparan. Kalau bencana kelaparan itu kan orang bisa menjarah dan lain sebagainya. Kalau misalnya hartanya terjarah pun masih ada simpanan. Bisa juga ketika ada kerugian dalam usaha dan lain sebagainya.
So even though nowadays we don't bury any treasure anywhere, but now also we have quite similar practice, right? Now we are trying to keep some of our money in. We used to put fixed deposit, and sometimes we used to buy asset. So why we are doing this kind of thing? Some people they used to like to buy gold and all the valuable stuff. Why? They know like in the future, whenever some kind of situation arises, they can use it. They can use it, and then they can overcome whatever insecurity arises in their life. They can overcome by using that asset or money or treasure.
Di zaman sekarang walaupun kita tidak memiliki kebiasaan mengubur harta, tapi kita ada kebiasaan-kebiasaan yang serupa, baik itu nabung di bank, deposit, kemudian beli emas, beli aset, dengan banyak tujuan. Salah satunya adalah kalau terjadi sesuatu yang bisa menyebabkan munculnya insecurity atau rasa tidak aman di dalam diri kita, maka kita bisa menggunakan harta-harta yang kita siapkan ini untuk menyelesaikan masalah-masalah tersebut.
And then the Buddha mentioned like, even though someone buried their treasure very well, even though nobody seen they are burying the treasure, but the thing is, they cannot use that treasure again because of there can be many conditions cause them and because of the different condition they couldn't use that treasure anymore. It can destroy or can get vanished or disappear.
Walaupun kita memiliki pikiran seperti itu, tapi seringkali, tidak setiap kali harta yang kita simpan tersebut bisa digunakan kembali, baik karena harta tersebut tiba-tiba rusak, tiba-tiba hilang, dan alasan lain-lainnya.
So then the Buddha mentioned like sometimes even though you bury the treasure, it can move. And then also sometimes you forget where you bury. Let's say if you go away somewhere, then after some period later, when you come back, you forget exactly the place. You hide it. Maybe you already make kind of a symbol there, but maybe because of some situation, cause you to the symbol can be destroyed, and then it can disappear. And also, like we can see when you look at the Anathapindika millionaire, about millionaire, there's one story mentioned like he also had some treasures hide somewhere, but at the corner of the river bank, because of the flood, all the treasures moved to ocean.
Jadi Sang Buddha mengatakan, walaupun orang-orang tersebut menyembunyikan harta mereka di lubang yang dalam, tapi kadang ada yang ditemukan orang dan diambil. Kadang ada yang terbawa arus, karena kalau Anda tahu di bawah tanah kan biasa banyak arus air ya, apalagi kalau banjir dan lain-lain. Kemudian ada juga yang bisa kelupaan, kita tadi sembunyikannya di mana. Walaupun kita sudah beri tanda, mungkin saja tanda itu bisa hilang, bisa rusak dan lain sebagainya. Bahkan Anathapindika ya, Donorotama Sang Buddha, Donorotama di zaman Sang Buddha Gautama juga pernah menyembunyikan harta di pinggiran sungai dan di tanah di pinggiran sungai, dan terbawa banjir hartanya, terbawa banjir dari sungai, terhanyutkan ke laut. Kalau udah sampai laut gimana mau carinya ya?
And also the Buddha mentioned like sometimes when you bury the treasure, it can be taken away by a dragon. Also sometimes some invisible being, they also have kind of power to take it away. So in this way also, even though you buried it very well, but it can disappear.
Bisa juga dikatakan harta tersebut bisa diambil oleh naga maupun makhluk-makhluk yang tak terlihat.
And also like, but expand further and say like, sometimes even though you bury the treasure or even though you have some asset, sometimes some people who you don't like, they can take it away. And also sometimes without you knowing, another one can see that treasure. Then without you don't know, but you believe the treasure is still there, but someone already taken away. And also it mentioned like with the time your karma, your merit already finished, then automatically it will get destroyed or disappear.
Bisa juga orang yang tidak suka sama kita, kalau tahu di mana harta kita disembunyikan, mereka akan pergi dan mengambilnya. Dikatakan apabila seseorang karma baiknya telah habis, maka hartanya otomatis akan menghilang.
So when you look at the Buddhist story, you can see the Kisa Gautami story. They mention like there was one millionaire. He had a lot of treasure, a lot of gold. Like can say like he was a millionaire. But one day when he checked, all the gold become black color. So it means like then he realized, all the gold what I collected, it changed. Then in this way, like sometimes people in the world, when they start to become poor, when some people they were rich, but after some period later when they start to become poor, they also don't know how all the monies and treasure are gone away from their life. So there are a lot of examples when the merit already finished, the karma, the good karma already finished, then all the things will disappear very faster. Okay, I'll explain it a bit. Last time it said like there was one millionaire in Savatthi. He had a lot of gold. The one day when he checked, all the gold become black color. Then he don't know what to do. Then one of his friends suggests him, you can put all the gold, the black gold. It means like the gold looks like the charcoal. Then it asks to keep in front of like the market, us to sell that. Then that time, if anyone asks why you are selling charcoal, then just reply, people are selling different things. I'm selling charcoal, but don't sell to anyone that charcoal. If anyone come and ask why you are selling gold, and then please ask the person to take some gold, take some of the thing what you are selling. At that time, if you see when the person take the thing, the gold or the expired gold to their hand, if it convert into gold, if that person is a female, you suggest her to get married your son. And then if the person, that one is a male, then better you give your daughter to him, and using that his merit, you can spend your life comfortably.
Jadi tentang contoh kisah di mana ketika karma berakhir, harta pun akan menghilang ya. Dulu ada satu orang kaya di Savatthi yang emasnya tiba-tiba menghitam. Ketika orang kaya ini hartanya tiba-tiba rusak gitu kan, dia bingung mau bagaimana. Temannya kasih saran, coba kamu bawa ke pasar, lalu kamu jual di tepi jalan. Kalau orang nanya kenapa kamu jual arang, kamu bilang aja, orang kan memang jual macam-macam barang ya, saya jualnya arang. Tapi yang bertanya seperti itu kamu jangan jualkan. Kalau ada orang yang bertanya kenapa kamu jual emas, pada orang itulah kamu coba suruh dia ambil. Kalau dia sudah mengambil emas yang menghitam itu dan di tangannya kembali berkilau lagi, apabila orang itu laki-laki, nikahkanlah sama anak perempuanmu. Kalau orang itu perempuan, nikahkanlah sama anak lakimu, jadikan menantu. Dengan karma baiknya dia, maka emas yang jadi rusak tersebut akan kembali lagi menjadi emas, dan kamu bisa menghabiskan sisa hidupmu dengan nyaman.
So I believe even nowadays, also we are facing in the time the good karma disappear. Also we are facing, suddenly we are facing a lot of issues. I had like long ago, the Indonesia also they had the crisis. It happened within one night, right? If I'm not mistaken. So then a lot of people they suffer. So in this way, like we don't know what time our good karma going to finish and we are going to lose everything.
Di dunia ini juga kita bisa lihat banyak kejadian termasuk di Indonesia, di mana dalam satu malam hal-hal berubah. Kita udah pernah kayak krisis moneter dan lain sebagainya. Di dunia juga malam ini damai, besoknya tiba-tiba mulai konflik, mulai perang ya. Sekarang kita sedang menikmati buah dari karma baik kita, hidup relatif nyaman dan damai. Tapi sewaktu-waktu ketika karma baik berakhir, maka kondisi bisa berubah drastis dengan sangat cepat.